Hello there. Well, our bank holiday Monday has been a largely fine, dry, sunny and a pretty hot one for most. But a few thunderstorms developed across the south later on in the day. That scene behind me was violent thunderstorms which broke out in the Midlands yesterday afternoon. And despite the sunny skies in Warwickshire, some of the roads still remain impassable after that torrential rain, with over a month's worth of rain falling in just over an hour. But for most of us, we've had scenes like this up and down the country. Blue skies, and it's felt very warm too. And any thunderstorms across southern areas will tend to fizzle out, I think, during this evening and overnight. But what we'll see is that low cloud and mist, which has been plaguing eastern coastal areas, rolling its way back westwards into many parts, in fact, by the end of the night. It's going to be another fairly warm night to come, particularly across southern areas. It'll feel muggy and quite humid. Now, as we head on towards Tuesday, you can see the whole country is still in the orange colours, so we remain in that warm air mass, which is being imported from the near continent. It starts off rather grey, though, you'll notice, a bit like this morning, but hopefully those clouds will thin and break, and we should see plenty of sunshine developing. A lot of that grey mist and murk will burn back to the east coast once again. But as those temperatures rise, and with the humidity, once again we could see a few showers or thunderstorms breaking out, mainly across central and southern areas. Top temperatures around 24, maybe 25 degrees. As we head on in towards Wednesday, subtle changes. It looks like this weather front will move out to the near continent. What that will do is perhaps enhance shower and thunderstorm activity. We're thinking maybe southern and eastern portions of the country at the moment, but there could be some torrential downpours mixed into there. As we head on into Wednesday afternoon, it looks like they'll tend to fade across northern areas, with a good part of Scotland and Northern Ireland again seeing some gorgeous spells of sunshine, but a bit cloudier for England and Wales, and we may hold on to some of that thundery rain. Despite the cloud though and the rain, it's still going to feel on the warm and humid side. And for the rest of the week, it will remain pretty warm and humid. There'll be plenty of sunshine around, particularly northern and western areas, but watch out for that risk of thundery downpours, which are likely to continue. So stay tuned to the forecast.
If you think you know the story of how women won the vote, think again. It was much more dangerous than you could possibly imagine. Women prepared to burn and bomb.
They are going to tell you their story.
Suffragettes with Lucy Worsley next Monday at 8:30 on BBC One.
John Jeremy Thorpe, I'm arresting you for conspiracy to murder Norman Scott.
Who are those awful men?
This is the story of a liar meeting a fantasist.
Bunnies. Are you a bunny? Am I married to a bunny?
Mr. Thorpe, how do you plead?
A Very English Scandal concludes Sunday at 9 on BBC One.
When you start super moving, everyone starts super moving. Your sister, your nana, and even your mum and dad. Yes, Dad. There goes the postman and the neighbours. Even your teacher. That's it, sir. Search for BBC Super Movers in partnership with the Premier League.
Did you make that?
The competition is certainly heating up.
Oh, I can't watch.
Chocolate's a funny one, though. I think it scares people.
If you're doing a dessert and you want to get nuttiness in there, use nuts.
I like it.
That shine, honestly, if I'd leant over, I'd see my face in it.
Britain's Best Home Cook continues Thursday at 8 on BBC One.
Time for the Bank Holiday One show now, and then all the sights, smells and splendour from a week at the RHS Chelsea Flower Show. That's in half an hour here on BBC One.
Welcome to The One Show with Matt Baker.
And Alex Jones. So it's Bank Holiday Monday and it's the start of half term if you're in England and Wales, and some of us instantly celebrate. Yes. Time off with the family. Brilliant. Good news. Others panic.
Don't look at me.
No, I'm just saying, others panic, wondering what to fill those days with.
Yeah, well, exactly. We like to do a bit to help you on The One Show, don't we? So we've invited a few families. Hello, everybody.
Evening.
This is something to do. This is good, isn't it? And then we've got a bit of a crowd outside as well.
Yeah, we couldn't fit everyone in. Tonight. And there's good reason for that. It's because our guests tonight have both been keeping themselves busy this weekend. One is a teenage singing sensation who's actually hanging out with Al and 26,000 others in Swansea at the biggest weekend. There you are. We've given the game away of who it is.
And the other is a writer and comedian who's been locked away in a darkened room while everyone else plays outside. It's Shawn Mendes and Ross Noble.
Good to see you, boys.
playing along.
Both in
Welcome.
team colours as well, wearing black and getting
Yeah, we're playing this.
Yeah. I feel like I'm stalking you, I'm not.
You are.
Well, I am a bit. I'm a bit too old, but yeah, I am a bit. Anyway, Swansea was good, wasn't it? It's good fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. You were just telling me you're from there.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, because your accent sounds like you were absolutely not from there. Because they were kind of hard
Steady.
No, they were sounded amazing. I wish I could have that accent.
Everybody in Wales will now faint away and go, she's changed.
She's changed
She's
a
lost
little
her
bit.
accent.
Yeah, she's lost her
very
accent.
much lost it.
So what you're saying is you like the Swansea accent, but you don't like Alex's accent.
I like both of them.
Good save.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known if you didn't tell me.
Wow.
But it was awesome. The crowd was one
isn't
of, it was really, really awesome.
So you brought a bus full of fans with you from Swansea.
Yeah,
to here.
they came with me from Swansea.
And did you get to hang out while you were there? Did you listen to others? Or
Yeah, I stayed and I watched 30 Seconds to Mars and Taylor Swift after, and it was really, really a good feeling out there that day.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Taylor Swift was in, well, that's not Taylor Swift, obviously.
That's Jared Leto.
But she was in this leotard. Oh, God, I can only dream of wearing a leotard in public.
So, Ross, loads of people have been out enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
You apparently have been locked indoors. What's been happening?
Yeah, I've been over there. I've been writing a show for Radio 4, so I've been in there doing, getting it ready.
Can you tell us anything about it? Top secret?
It's
or
a
is
show where I interview celebrity guests, and then we go to unusual items that are happening around the country.
Sounds familiar.
And I am in no way here doing research. It's sort of this. It's I've basically ripped off this show. It's basically this
like
show, but if everyone was on drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to watch that show.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Well, we're going to talk all about your new tour
Lovely.
a little bit later on. Of course, Shawn, you're going to be singing for us, aren't you, at the end of the show?
I am.
I mean, that's why we've got all these people here.
Yeah.
We've got loads of stuff happening as well tonight. We're going to meet a Labrador who has adopted some ducklings. But before that, we're moving on. Of
course.
It's all serious.
See,
all
you're giving
serious
Ross
stuff.
more ammunition now.
Lovely.
He's got a top out show. He can't top out
Can you
show.
just tell me, because everyone knows about me, I love food that is past its sell-by date.
Wow.
Have you got anything that would be of interest to me?
Well,
do you
love eating food?
I love it. I love ducks. I love ducks and dogs.
Yeah.
I love old cinemas.
It sounds like you're speaking another language to me right now.
Ducks and dogs. Dogs who adopt ducks. I love old cinemas. And I love food that's past its sell-by date.
Wow.
I wonder if is there anything on the show?
I can tell you that Tesco's recent decision to remove best before dates from some of their products, basically the aim is to try and make sure that we don't throw away perfectly edible food too early.
But how far can you push it beyond a best before date? Well, according to one specialist store, years.
Let's be honest. There's nothing we like more than getting ourselves a bargain. Look at these, for example. In the supermarket, they're about £1.50 a packet. Here, they're the equivalent of 33p a packet. So what's the catch? Well, you do have to buy in bulk, and there's one other thing about this place that might surprise you. Looking at this mayonnaise, it's nearly a year out of date. In fact, most of the stock here at Rogers Wholesale Foods in Plymouth is past its best before date. They buy their produce from local food manufacturers and distributors before selling it on again at a discount. It's the biggest of its kind in the country, and co-owner Mark is showing me around. Mark, how do you make this work on such a large scale?
Well, really, it comes down to suppliers. The best thing we ever did was we called ourselves the South's biggest gone past best before warehouse, and through doing that, our suppliers pricked their ears up and went there out to obviously say exactly what they're trying to do.
Do you keep any stuff that is used by?
No, because that would be illegal. So used by and sell by, you're talking about safety. Okay, so after that date, the product may make you ill. With best before, you're talking about just quality. So after the best before date then, you may lose taste, texture or colour, but nothing else.
So far, so good. But isn't this just taking an important resource away from food banks?
No, not at all. They wouldn't be able to handle this kind of quantity. But equally with the charities, they're obviously well looked after by, the big supermarkets. We want to look after the squeezed middle, the people who are just about managing long-term disability, people who are sick or just unemployed.
Part of the secret to the success here is the online marketing, especially Mark's daily Facebook Live posts.
This is apple and pomegranate. There's 24 of the cans in there for just £5 a case on those.
Right, time for a spot of bargain hunting myself. I'm wandering round here, and it's not just basic brands, it's top brands like Coca-Cola. And look at this over here. These are just £3, and that's not just for a packet. That's for the full case of 6. That's 50 pence a packet. And these fruit shoots, just a £5 a case or 21 pence each. I don't think that's bad at all. Anyone for custard? Just 50 pence each. We're going to need a bigger crumble. Now, you've probably spotted the problem with all of this. Who on earth wants to buy 30 packets of custard? Well, you'll be surprised. When the store first opened, there were queues outside the door. So what do the locals think?
We've come in here with my friends before now and split quite a few boxes of stuff, and it's worked out really well.
So I just think they want to do away with the dates because it's still good products.
Sometimes if we've got too much, we give it away to friends and family when they come over, or sometimes we give it to the homeless people.
John Kelly's a regular who's been shopping at the warehouse since it opened in January.
I'm married with 4 children. We are living on a single income of my wife's disability benefits. I'm her carer, but I can't actually receive carer's benefit because I'm American and I'm not entitled to public funds.
So you did some shopping today?
Yes.
And what sort of savings would you have got on that today?
Well, I've actually got the receipt with me.
Okay.
Right here, we spent £32, as you can see.
Yeah.
And we looked up the prices online.
Okay.
And found that we would have paid £121.90.
Wow.
So that's a savings of £89.90, almost £90.
Wow, on just on one shop?
Yes.
So you can certainly save lots of money, but here's the real test. How does the food actually taste?
So have a try of that.
So how far out of date are these?
Well, I'll let you try it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And that one is November 2014, that particular product. So there you go. So you're talking, so you're talking 4 years past its best before, and then
that's amazing.
Amazing, and that goes to show you, you know, the advances in modern sort of like packaging these days means that people don't need to be worried about this anymore, and they can still be crunchy.
And if the quality of the product isn't up to scratch, they'll offer you a full refund. Well, that's my shopping done, and plenty to go round too.
Well, that shop have sent over some nibbles. So, audience, feel free to take in. Now, it's your choice. We've got some crisps there that are 4 years out of date. And if you're not feeling that brave, some that went out of date this year. So, have we got any? Oh, you here?
I mean, obviously, people are doing this out of necessity too, but do you want to have, would you try, I mean, 4 years old, would you try those? I mean, listen, you're singing
after the performance.
Have you got insurance?
Yeah, I think I should.
Is it, so
let him
it's 4 years like, I mean, they've not been left out, have they?
Well, no, because that's what because of the seal. They say that everything's fine.
I mean,
and,
but you know
it's
what
a bit
I'm like?
harder than you would expect.
Psychologically, I will think they taste different because
I
I've
wouldn't know what
seen
these
the
taste
date.
like without being expired either.
I think that's all right. I mean, it doesn't taste.
You'd eat anything, to be fair.
It's a bit woody. It's a bit woody.
It's taken me.
You're not fussy.
I feel like I'm going, is it 2014?
It's a good vintage, that.
It's all right,
Good
isn't it?
vintage.
Let's talk about your album, for goodness sake, and move on from crisps that are 4 years
Talk about your
old.
album. I'll eat some old crisps.
Please.
Welcome to the UK.
So, brilliant title, Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, I know we worked really hard on it. I had that one in the bank for a long time.
Very good. And some people would hold like a really quick press conference, but you went for something a lot more elaborate, didn't you? It was kind of a 9-hour thing. Go on, tell us what happened.
We had an actual artist team come in and create the artwork with real flowers and like a real kind of mural of it. And we filmed it like super kind of not showing the entire piece, but it took 9 hours and fans were just like, what's going on? And in the background, we very quietly were playing pieces of the album and then we revealed it after 9 hours. It was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you seen Question
a
of
fan
Sport?
actually designed that.
Is that right?
Have I seen what?
Question of Sport, because they've got a section on that, haven't they, where you've got to guess
Guess who?
who it is, yeah?
I don't know. Is that a British thing?
Yeah.
It doesn't take 9 hours, though.
No,
it
But
doesn't.
this is the thing, and I guess you put all of that up online because this is the thing for you, Shawn. I mean, as far as followers and social media and this, that, and the other are concerned, it's just quite remarkable how your career has taken off. It's what, 30 million Instagram followers and 20 million Twitter followers?
And it's very impossible to comprehend. Like, I don't know anything more than you guys do, and it's just this crazy number. And when you go out and you play in front of 10,000 people, it feels as crazy as you think it would.
Yeah.
But that was the thing from the beginning, was I had this incredible fan base, as you can see from outside.
Yeah.
And they were the ones really pushing me to create music and giving me that confidence. And Yeah, I'm honestly really lucky, so it's awesome.
And Times Magazine have listed you as one of the top 100 most influential people, get this, Ross, in the world.
In the world.
But with that comes, you know, responsibility. Do you feel the pressure?
I think, honestly, nowadays what needs to happen is people to just be more authentic than ever. And I think that was maybe why I was put on that list. And everybody in the room, there was an event held in New York, everybody in the room was a very authentic person, being very real and just telling the truth. And I think that's what people are looking for when it comes to being influential. It's not about, you know, what you do, it's actually about being a real person and standing your ground in a positive way, I think.
And the stories as well through your songwriting. In My Blood is what you're going to be playing for us tonight, and there's a story behind that one, isn't there?
Yeah, I think, you know, just speaking up and talking about like anxiety and suffering with that, and how in those darkest moments of your life, sometimes gaining perspective, realizing that the next day will be better, is super important for me to write about.
But I guess, though, after writing a song like that, you've got loads of your fans probably getting in touch on Instagram and Twitter and all the rest of it.
Being, are you okay? Yeah.
Yeah, and also saying, you know, I've been through something similar. And then again, that's quite a responsibility, isn't it, to know those stories and to know how to deal with it.
The incredible part was obviously the reaction from the fans and people, but was family members and actual friends who I never thought would have reaching out to me the next day, being like, hey, man, I just want you to know how much this song means to me. I think you forget, as a creator of music or a creator of anything, how much your work affects people in their personal life. And so I've never been so proud of a song in my life. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
We love it. Matt's been singing it all after.
Yeah, I heard you when I walked in singing it.
Yeah, no, I do. Sorry. Did you hear me? Oh, that's really bad.
No, it sounded great. He's coming out to play with me, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Anyway, Shawn's album, Shawn Mendes, is out tomorrow, and we're going to say goodbye to you now, because you're going to get yourself set for the performance a little bit later on. And no doubt they will be screaming their heads off for the rest of the programme, Ross, but we'll do our best to talk as we go.
Now, Shawn here went from bedroom vlogger to arena-filling superstar overnight, and since he's played in huge venues all around the world.
Well, soon Shawn could have the chance to play one of Britain's most iconic, as it's set to open up its doors once more. Here's Andy with the story.
It may not look like it now, but in the olden days, the Bradford Gaumont was one of the country's greatest live music venues.
It sends a chill down my spine to think of the people who walked on this stage years before me. Gene Vincent, Eddie Cochran, Buddy Holly, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, all before packed houses.
All you could hear was screaming.
You couldn't hear the music.
No one has performed on here for 50 years, but now a tenacious group of local enthusiasts has secured the building's future and hope pretty soon to be taking it back to its rock and roll heyday.
The beautiful Italian Renaissance building was designed to be a palace of entertainment, with a concert hall, huge cinema screen, ballroom and restaurants.
When it opened in September 1930, coming here, it was a treat, it was an occasion.
It really came into its own with the rock and roll era.
Performers started coming here in the mid-50s. All the teenagers were converging outside, waiting for a signed photograph to be tossed down.
Teenagers like Janice, Tina and Susan, back in the early 60s, were among the lucky ones to see the Beatles at one of their 4 gigs here. They've not been back for 50 years, until now.
So big, wasn't it? It was a lot bigger than I remember.
Look at it now, eh?
Gosh, can't believe it. We queued 15 hours.
Wow.
Yes, our parents came down later at night with flasks.
Yes.
And sandwiches.
Yes.
Because we were absolutely frozen.
Yes.
And could you hear anything at all of the music? No.
All you could hear was screaming. And then we went and sneaked into Wings and we stood talking to them at Wings.
You were talking to the Beatles in the Wings. Can you remember what kind of conversation you had with them?
No, because I was fairly quiet.
You had a conversation with John Lennon and Paul McCartney, Tina, and you can't remember what you talked about.
Another teenager who does remember his conversations with the band is BAFTA-winning documentary maker Paul Berriff. Photos he took that night of John, Paul, George and Ringo at the Gaumont ended up being displayed in galleries around the world.
You were only 16. How did you come to take those photographs?
Well, I wanted to be a press photographer. So in my spare time, I would go around practicing my photography skills. This little 16-year-old boy with a camera, and nobody took any notice of me, you know. But Paul McCartney did. I met him 6 more times after the Gaumont here, and every time I met him, he would come up and ask me how my photography was doing. I didn't ask him how his music was doing, but...
You put these away in a box, didn't you? And they've only recently come to light.
I put them away because I moved into telly, and 4 years ago I found in this dusty cardboard box 800 negatives. So I started to go through them and, oh, Paul McCartney, Beatles. And there it was, this treasure trove of it. Fabulous 1963-64 images.
And for all your BAFTA awards, these are probably what you're going to be remembered for.
Well,
you
I think it
realise
is,
that?
yeah, I know, yeah.
But in 1958, not everybody embraced rock and roll. Months before his untimely death, Buddy Holly played here as part of his only UK tour. And the local theatre critic wasn't a fan.
The showbiz writer said something along the lines of artistry has been kicked out of the stage door. He couldn't understand, you know, this new music that was coming along, and he really, really savaged Buddy and the Crickets.
John Wilkinson, on the other hand, was much more impressed.
It's only a memory now, of course, but coming in here and thinking about it was great, you know. I was in awe. I thought, he's come all the way from America to play here. I thought, fantastic.
By the end of the 1960s, the gigs had dried up, and after a final concert by Tom Jones, the building was turned into an audience cinema before closing its doors for the last time 18 years ago. But now, a group of music fans called Bradford Live have managed to raise the £20 million needed to restore it. Working with a major concert organiser, they're aiming to bring back those musical glory days by 2020.
There's been a few efforts to get it demolished, you know, and there's been a huge public backlash against that, and you know, it was very obvious that the public wanted to see the building saved and put back to use.
It doesn't look like much at the moment, but it really is special, and it does get to you.
We're all music fans as well. We'd love to have a decent music venue in the city.
It's clear that in its heyday, the Bradford Gaumont meant so much to so many music fans here. And with the hard work of people in the city, it looks like good times are returning.
Wow.
That's going to look
Couple of years.
fantastic, isn't it?
You'll have to book yourself in there, Ross, for one of your stand-up gigs.
Yeah.
You think?
Do they have
Couple of years
seats,
away?
or is it all... Is it all...
Not at the moment, but they've got 20 million to spend, so
yeah,
maybe...
just chuck a few seats in.
Probably spend a bit on seats.
Because that's like music venues, you know, if you do stand-up and everyone else is standing up.
Yeah.
I should do that. I should book it in, make them stand, and I'll sit down, and then just save them a few quid. That'll be nice.
Well, you've got this new tour.
I do, yes.
Now, it's called El Hablador.
El Hablador,
It
yes.
rhymes with Labrador, that's how I remember it.
It does.
Which is handy, because we've got one of them on soon. Next
which
item.
is perfect, really. But what is an El Hablador?
This is really bizarre, because we're talking, and I don't know if people at home will be able to tell, but there is literally just screaming outside.
Yeah. Predicted
and
it.
If you didn't know that there was a young pop star here, you would literally think
They
that
were
there
here
was...
for you.
No, I'm not that arrogant. I was thinking that there's some sort of emergency situation. It's happened outside.
Shawn Mendes.
Or a new theme park for Bank Holiday Monday.
That's what it is. Wouldn't that be great if you were just chatting to people and then just past the window a load of people in a thing? Yes, it's called El Hablador.
Yeah, go on. So what does that even mean?
It means well, here's the thing, right? With he sort of have to come up with a name for the show, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll call it El Hablador, and I'll make the whole thing. All the music I come onto is like Mexican. I've got this big set and everything, and then I forgot the fact that I would have to explain it for the next 6 months before the tour starts. It means talkative or the storyteller, and that's it, really.
Well, no, that's perfect.
Yeah. But I've got this giant Mexican skull.
Yes,
well,
we were going to ask you about the skull.
3. There it is.
Oh, you've got 3 of them.
That's
right.
and it's like 50 foot across. It's winged, and it all lights up. And then I come through the
mouth.
I come through the mouth, and there's smoke, and there's a big rock and roll start to the show. And then I just don't mention it for the whole show. No, I never mention it, and it makes me laugh so much. It's the most over-the-top, expensive joke you could possibly imagine. Because what happens is that my fans, they come along, they know what to expect. But every now and again, people will bring friends along who haven't seen me live, and you can see them all the way through. They'll be watching and just looking, going, "Oh, he's got a big winged skull." And then at the end, I say, "Any questions?" And somebody will always go, Why have you got big wings, Cole? Like that, and I just go, because it makes me laugh.
Well, listen,
So, why wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean?
Too right, I couldn't agree more. Now, the last time you were here, Ross, you were on for Young Frankenstein.
I was, yeah.
And is it right that even during that, you went and did stand-up gigs because you wanted to feel that vibe of
I wanted to stay match fit in me brain, which was a good idea. I mean, obviously, like that was... you know, West End show, singing and dancing, 8 shows a week.
Did you enjoy it?
It was brilliant. I loved it, absolutely loved it. But I started doing them on a Friday night, and then I'd forget that I had to do 2 shows on a Saturday. So it'd get to like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be on stage just having a laugh, and I'd go, "Oh God, I've got dancing a bit." So so I started doing Saturday nights. I'd finish 2 shows and then go down and then do it.
Well, congratulations on it. You got nominated, didn't you, for an Olivia?
I did for an Olivia Award.
That's fantastic.
Yes, yeah, it was good. Yeah. Yeah, it's all exciting.
Yeah.
Didn't win, Hamilton win.
Doesn't matter, that's
Don't have to mention it, we'll just say nomination.
Nice to be nominated in the year that the most critically acclaimed musical of all time is up for all the awards. They literally went, who else is nominated in my category? And all the other 3 guys were all in Hamilton. I went, I'm not going to win that then, am I?
Good to be in a
it was
good
great.
crowd,
It was great. It was what a...
And give our love to Mel Brooks. We loved having him on, didn't we?
Oh, he's coming back,
That was
apparently.
a legendary show.
Yes, he is.
With us.
He's coming back in July. The show's still on. I've left the show, but Frankenstein's on, and he's coming back, and I'm sure he'd love to come back
for all time's sake.
We'd love to have him. Well, the UK leg of Ross Noble's El Hablador tour begins on the 9th of September in Glasgow.
Right, time now for the story of a surprising new friendship. This is quite beautiful. Set in the picturesque grounds of Essex Castle.
Yes, fans of dogs, ducks and animal cuteness in general, this one is for you.
It's unusual anyway for these interspecies relationships to happen in this way. You do hear stories about it.
For the ducklings, they're getting warmth, a large, warm, furry animal to snuggle up to keep those little ducklings nice and warm during the night in particular, I would imagine. Maybe also a bit of protection and maybe some leadership. They're looking for someone to show them the way in life. Where do we go? Where's the nearest pond?
Who knows what Fred's getting out of this relationship? It's really hard to tell. Obviously, dogs generally are quite social and enjoy the company of either people, other dogs, or in this situation, ducklings. It would really depend on the individual dog. I'm sure some dogs would see the ducklings and think that they were little squeaky toys to play with, whereas some will be far more gentler and be really calm around them and then take them under their paw, not wing.
These are young, impressionable ducks, and maybe it's often the case that the mum wanders off, something happens to her, and the dog simply steps in. Dogs are pack animals, they like being around other creatures, maybe that's just how they team up, but I doubt the dog can actually teach them to do the doggy paddle. I don't think we know the answer to that question at the moment, but there are several theories. Imprinting, looking at the first thing you see when you're born, that must be my mum, I must follow it around. The second could be just this kind of mutual companionship, that they both get something out of that relationship. So this is a very rare occurrence. Fred is obviously a warm, caring type of dog, but this is the exception to the rule. In the wild, you shouldn't really aim to introduce your dog to every duck that you see.
So these relationships are amazing when they occur naturally, and when they just happen, it's something magical.
Oh, and look,
they've been watching our show tonight. Look at that lovely picture, so cute.
Oh, live ducklings with a beautiful dog. Isn't that wonderful? Anyway, listen, on that note, that is all we've got time for. Big thanks to Ross. You can see him on the UK tour from September.
We'll be back tomorrow with Michelle Keegan, but now they can't wait any longer, playing us out with In My Blood from his new self-titled album, which is out now. It's Shawn Mendes!
Here's Shawn!
It's like the walls are caving in. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't. It isn't in my blood. Laying on the bathroom floor, feeling nothing. I'm overwhelmed and insecure. Give me something I can take to ease my mind slowly. Just have a drink and you'll feel better. Just take her home and you'll feel better. Keep telling me that it gets better. Oh yeah, does it ever? Help me. It's like the walls are caving in. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't. It is in my blood. It is in my blood. Looking through my phone again, feeling anxious, afraid to be alone again. I hate this. Find a way to chill, can't breathe. Oh, is there somebody who could help me? It's like the walls are caving in. Sometimes I feel like giving up. No medicine is strong enough. Someone help me. I'm crawling in my skin. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't. It is in my blood. It is in my blood. Oh, no, no. Help me. It's like the walls are caving in. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't. Scream it! It is in my blood. Oh, no, no. I need somebody now. I need somebody now. Someone to help me out. I need somebody now. It is in my blood. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The gardens that wowed the crowds. We're looking back at the RHS Chelsea Flower Show next, and then Carmel's in Pieces and Mix Full of Guilt, EastEnders at 8.
I do want to get into a grammar school just for the opportunities I might have.
If your child had a 1 in 4 chance of passing the school selection test,
It is a bit difficult.
would you put them through it?
Am I going to be successful in life, or am I going to be just a big failure? I worry about if I don't pass and all my friends do.
Grammar schools, who will get in?
I just